Welcome to today's topic. I'm Chad Cook, and this is a new thing for us, and we're very excited about it. Well, last night we released ABR TV episode 2, and it was about Frank Booker, one of Augusta's best basketball players. And when I put it on Facebook, a good friend of mine, Matt Scott, assistant coach for the Southern Stampede AAU team, he responded and asked if I heard about the news of Kyle Doyle, Josie High School standout, transferring to Buford High School in Atlanta, Georgia. And I responded that yes, this was big news indeed, and that I wanted to talk about it. So that's why that is our first topic. And many people have an opinion about high school athletes transferring. Recently, last Friday night, the Strom-Thurmond Rebels played against Eastern Christian Academy in football. Eastern Christian Academy is a private school, some might say all-star type football team. And the Strom-Thurmond coach, the Augusta Chronicle, reported that the Strom-Thurmond coach said after the game that Strom-Thurmond does things the right way, and they take kids that grew up together and that love each other and build a football team that way. So the traditional way, you might describe it like that. Also, we recently published an article about Cindarius Thornwell from Lancaster High School and L.J. Peak from Gaffney High School, both South Carolina products, transferring Cindarius Thornwell to Oak Hill Academy, the storied program, and L.J. Peak to Chicago, to a high school in Chicago. In addition to that, the Augusta Chronicle recently published an article about GHSA's decision to separate public and private schools in the Class A division when it comes to competing for state championships in all sports. So there are a lot of opinions about transferring and whether it's a good or a bad thing. So last night when Matt Scott asked my opinion about Kyle, I felt like this was a great time to address it. And so my young viewers out there, maybe you should Google, or maybe you can Google, Curt Flood. Curt Flood was a baseball player some 40 years ago who was, I think it's accurate to say, the first free agent. And he went out on a limb and was the first guy that established the principle of professional athletes being able to choose where they play, being able to choose who they work for. And now it's very common. LeBron James, Dwight Howard, those guys have very much have a say in where they go play and where they live and how they work. So as a general rule, I like freedom. I like the freedom to choose, the freedom of choice. But with freedom to make decisions comes the freedom to make good decisions or bad decisions. So what it really gets down to is I would agree with somebody's right to make their own decision, and then it's their job to make a good decision, and if they don't, it's their responsibility, which is a great life lesson as well. So when it comes to Kyle, he's a great kid. He comes from a great family, and I'm positive that this was a decision that they spent a lot of time thinking about, and I'm very confident that it is the best decision for Kyle. And then another thing about transfers and our Augusta area in general, if you look back a couple of years, Rod Hall, 2 or 3 years ago, was the best player in our area. Well, Rod Hall didn't start off going to high school at Laney High School. Jamie West, another Laney product, he was the Augusta Chronicle All-Area Player of the Year last year for the state champion Laney Wildcats. I'm pretty sure that Jamie didn't start off his high school career going to Laney. Ahmed Hill, one of the best players in Augusta right now, attends Aquinas, didn't start off at Aquinas. And even me, a guy who nobody's ever cared about when it comes to basketball, I ended up finishing my high school basketball and high school academic career at a different place from where I started. And I remember at the time I was asked by the Augusta Chronicle once again why I made that transfer, and I said, basically because I wanted to. And I even back then, I knew that I didn't see anything wrong with somebody choosing where they go to school, where they study, and therefore where they participate in athletics. And so where does that leave coaches who coach the teams where the players leave from? I think the Strom-Thurmond coach made a great point. and saying that there's something very special about a group of kids who grow up together, who go through trials and tribulations together, and stay together all the way through graduation. That is a great thing, and it's something that coaches should be proud of, players should be proud of, and coaches should promote that. But at the same time, I don't think that players who decide to make a change for one reason or another are to be faulted. That's my opinion, and I hope that you join us tomorrow for today's